Can you tell me, go back in time and tell me about your original aspirations to get into the world of acting and writing? Was this your ambition since high school?
You know what? It wasn't.
No?
I never did theater in high school. Never did any of it.
Oh,
I in high school and college, I grew up in New York City and worked for a commodity trader who worked on the World Trade Center. Worked in the
banker,
World Trade. Yeah,
banker.
he was a trader.
Yeah.
It was it was bright lights, big city. It was crazy. It was fast paced. I worked for him as his runner.
Mm,
My father knew him. My father was in the restaurant business, and he used to come to my dad's restaurant.
mm.
So my dad came home one day as a junior in high school and says, "I got you a job. Where? New York Cotton Exchange." I go, "What am I shearing sheep?" He goes, "No." It's like I swear to God, I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
But this guy I worked for was larger than life. He was very much like Gordon Gekko on Wall
Mm,
Street. So
mm.
fast forward, I'm in college, and the plan was for me to work for him once I graduated and be going to be these commodity traders and make millions of dollars, this, that, and the
Mm.
other. Well, he
Yeah.
committed to
Oof.
kill himself. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the pressure of everything. He was 37 years old, but
Yeah.
considered an old man on a commodity exchange, believe it or not. Believe it or
Really?
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. But he was such a mentor to me in terms of he was just big and powerful and larger than life in that way in terms of business.
Yeah.
He was a chairman of the New York Cotton Exchange. He's just been voted. So
Oh,
anyway, to make a long story short,
mm.
it affected me for a couple of years
Oh, I can
because
imagine.
this guy was my mentor
Yeah.
and he's killing himself.
Yeah.
So does he know something that I don't know about
Mm.
life?
Yeah.
So I was working for a computer company in South New Jersey, and I had a computer in my apartment because that's what we did. We leased computers.
Mm.
So I started writing a story about this person, this commodity trader who I worked for. It's not an autobiography. I didn't know him that way, that close, but just how it affected me as a kid.
Yeah.
My father had a friend who was a bartender who was also an author and a writer. I
Yeah.
sent him the story,
Yeah.
and he said, "You should be a writer
Mm.
because this is fantastic. This is a classic coming of age story."
Mm.
And I literally didn't. I was in my late 20s
Mm.
and wasn't married, didn't have kids,
Mm.
very portable, and decided, you know what, I want to be a writer and actor. And I
Mm.
literally stopped working in corporate America. I started working as a bartender. I walked on to an audition, like I said, when I did Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I sang a song. I learned a dance routine. I had no background in theater whatsoever, none
Yeah.
whatsoever. I did it, got on, started doing other plays,
Yeah.
started doing print modeling stuff,
Yeah.
commercial stuff, like the
Yeah.
doctor, the lawyer, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Have a whole slew of that, and then decided, okay, I need to either go back to New York because I'm living in DC. I need to go
Mm.
back to New York and do theater, try to do
Yeah.
theater,
Yeah.
go out to California. Well, I had a job as a bartender. I transferred out from it was Planet Hollywood. I transferred out from Planet Hollywood in DC
Yeah.
out here to Southern California.
Yeah.
So came out here, got enough work, get my SAG card, which back then was a really big deal. Got to be a SAG member.
Yeah.
I'm living in Southern California, man.
Yeah.
I'm living the dream. I buy a motorcycle, living in Newport Beach. I'm living
Yeah.
on Pacific Coast Highway. I have a terrible motorcycle accident. I couldn't walk for 6 months.
Oof. Break your legs and how
I
bad?
shattered my right ankle and I broke my collarbone, but my foot was lying this way and my leg was
Oof.
straight.
Oh,
Yeah,
Christ.
so
Oh,
I remember like somebody cut me off and I rolled over 100 feet.
yeah.
I'm
Bloody
lucky
hell.
I didn't kill myself. I'm
Yeah,
lucky I didn't
definitely.
kill myself.
Did you have a crash helmet on?
But I had a helmet on. That was all. That saved my head. But like a lot of times when you have these accidents, your arms flail out and
Yeah.
you'll break
Yeah.
your arm, you'll break your elbow. I
Oof.
tucked. I tucked for whatever reason. I just rolled and rolled and rolled and rolled and stopped. But I did shatter my ankle.
Oh, Christ.
It was a mess. It
Yeah.
was a mess. I couldn't walk for 6 months.
Bloody hell. Did you
Um,
have private medical insurance? I know in here,
no,
the UK, we've got the NHS, we've been
no.
in an ambulance, get seen to. Did you get a big bill then at the end of
I
that
had a
time?
huge bill because I stopped working as a bartender because I was getting enough work as
Yeah.
an quote unquote actor,
Yeah.
but it wasn't enough for me to be eligible for SAG health insurance.
Yeah.
So all the money I'd saved up
Yeah.
as a bartender, was gone because of this accident.
I feel.
And I was at ground zero, so I went back to corporate America.
Yeah. You
I
needed the
met my
money.
wife. I needed the money. You were exactly right. I needed the money. So the acting and the writing, that all went away.
Hmm.
Met my wife in 2000.
Hmm.
We got married 2002. She was also in the industry that I was in, and just had to work. I live in Southern California. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
So we did the marriage thing. We got
Hmm.
married, had a son 2 years later. We
Hmm.
bought a house.
Hmm.
Dual incomes. Got to have dual incomes here to make it work.
Yeah.
So I was just doing that, and then got married in 2004, and then flash to 2021. Now all of a sudden they're doing reels for actors. And what's a reel? What's that? That didn't
Yeah.
exist 20
Yeah.
years ago. And then
Yeah.
did the reels. Started to audition again. Again,
Yeah.
my wife's like, "What are you doing?" She didn't know me in this light,
Yeah.
and auditioned for a play in
Hmm.
LA. Got into the play.
Yeah.
Met Laura through the play, and through No Mas,
Yeah.
and then The Righteous, and then it's just all. So I literally had, I don't know, 20 years of nothing
Hmm.
because I had to, because of the accident.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I? It might sound like I'm going off on a tangent. What would happen if you couldn't afford to pay for that? If you had no money, would you be declared bankrupt,
Um,
or they take
yeah,
all your?
well, I mean, they sent me when I was in the accident and told, they got enough information out of me. They sent me to like a county hospital that was free,
Oh, yeah.
right? So the ER part wasn't, they didn't bill me for it. I mean, they're not going to leave me in the street.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I don't know, maybe, but so they took me to a county hospital. I was there for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, and then
Yeah.
they basically, okay, you got to go.
Yeah.
And then the doctor visits, yeah, that I had to pay for.
Yeah.
My parents helped me out,
Hmm.
but I didn't have insurance. I did not. It was a terrible time,
Yeah. I can imagine.
terrible time
Yeah.
back then. I mean, now you can get state covered insurance, which is not too bad. If you're
Yeah.
unemployed, you can get that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
that wasn't around for me back then,
Yeah.
and I just was like, okay, I gotta go back and get. As soon as I could start walking again,
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta go back and get a real job. And I
Hmm.
left it all behind.
Yeah. So there's a 20-year gap then in between. You're starting off on the creative side up until now.
Yeah, I mean, let me think. That was 90s. Yeah, almost 20 years, like 17 years of doing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing. I stopped writing.
Yeah.
There was no acting, no audition. In fact, my wife would say, why do you keep paying your SAG dues?
Hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're not acting,
Yeah.
right? And then all of a sudden it I don't know what happened,
Hmm.
Terry. I don't the reels, the industry had changed to where you could get stuff on tape.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
the internet. Now
Yeah.
there's YouTube.
Yeah.
Now
Zoom.
there's online. Now there's online auditions.
Hmm.
When I first started
Hmm.
in the 90s, everything was live. You had to go
Yeah.
to a
Yeah.
physical audition.
Yeah.
You had to send out headshots and resumes.
Hmm.
Just mail them out. With
Yeah.
not now, everything, all the editions are EcoCast,
Hmm.
so everything's, you get your camera out, get your phone out.
Hmm.
Everyone's got a backdrop, got a
Hmm.
camera. You shoot a 3-minute audition.
Hmm.
You send it off through your phone, through the app, the website. So
Hmm.
it's just the world has just changed so much. But doing the reels was really what changed it, because then people could then see me
Yeah.
and see what you can do.
It's how we've connected as well on Twitter, isn't it?
It's
You're posting out.
unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's making the
unbelievable
world
how you
smaller.
just
I love connecting
it's
with
it.
different
The
creative
world is
types.
smaller. The world is much smaller. Like I deal with India a lot because a lot of film festivals are India,
Yeah.
and these guys are 12 and a half hours ahead of me.
Oh,
So
yeah.
these guys
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
guys are texting me via like say Instagram
Yeah.
at like 1 in the morning,
Oh, dear.
my time. It's 1 o'clock afternoon or
Yeah.
1:30 their time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, hey, okay, listen, that sounds great. I'll submit my film, but it's 1:30 here in the morning, so
Mm.
let me go to sleep.
Yeah.
So so listen, to that point, you got to catch them at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're 8 hours ahead of me,
Yeah.
and they're 12 and a half hours, depending on where you're in India. So yeah, but the world is absolutely, you're right.
Mm.
The world is smaller. Yeah, it really is because of social media and all that. So yeah,
It's a better place for it, as far as I'm concerned.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah,
Mm.
I think so. So
Okay.
I know, crazy story, but yeah, it's just
No, it's a
it's
scary story. It seems like it's come full circle for you then, to a certain extent.
it really has. I'm doing what I love to do.
Mm.
The book, I never expected to write a book,
Mm.
and now I have, and it's published,
Mm.
and the feedback's been great. And it's like the shot of me when I went to the kindergarten and
Mm.
read to the kids. It was unbelievable. It's so
Mm.
gratifying because you see these faces
Mm.
and they're excited
Mm.
and they're engaged. I love kids and I love animals.
Mm.
And it was just fantastic to do something that actually is meaningful to some people. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's my, like what's your legacy?
Mm. Yeah. True.
My
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
legacy is my son, our
Mm.
son,
Yeah.
for sure. But now it's, I have a book, I
Yeah.
have films, I have, when someone says to me, "Wow, I read your book and I thought it was fantastic.
Mm.
It moved me."
Yeah. It makes it
Or my,
worthwhile, doesn't it?
it really does, man. Because when it
Mm.
comes down to that, like, what's really the point?
Mm.
What do you want to add value in people's lives? You want to
Mm.
add value to your own life, to your family's lives,
Mm.
and meet people like you,
Mm.
and just, this is who I am. This is what I'm trying to do, and that's it.
First, if you had one wish for a character role in a film or TV series, going back whenever up to today, what would that be? Who would you like to have played on the screen or the stage?
Um, that's a really good
You
question.
mentioned Brando before, perhaps one of his
Yeah,
roles.
Brando. Yeah, who I'm really huge fan. I like character actors probably more
Yeah,
because that's more the guts of it to
yeah,
me as actors being a
yeah,
character. Gene Hackman,
yeah, yeah.
fantastic
Mm.
actor. James Caan.
Mm. Very physical
James
actor.
Caan, yeah, physical actor, but he could play Sonny Corleone
Yeah.
in The Godfather. He's from the Bronx, so he can
Mm.
play that guy, but he can play a guy from the South in Brian's Song. He did a movie where he played a guy, ex football player from the South. Robert Duvall,
Mm. Yeah. All great character
fantastic,
actors. Yeah.
great character actor. He can play the New York guy,
Mm.
right? But he can also play the guy from the South.
Mm.
So I do a pretty good. If you watch The Righteous,
Mm.
mine's more of a New Orleans drawl.
Mm.
A lot of New York guys are very, hey, how you doing? Huh? How you
Mm.
doing? That
Mm.
that that kind of gets becomes stereotypical.
Mm.
But if you can become literally, like, you don't see Gene Hackman in the role, you see the character.
That's true. Yeah, I'm trying to think of his accent, and I can't actually. Nothing comes to mind when I think of him. I just think of his
Yeah,
role, as you say, exactly. His
yeah,
physical character.
yeah. De Niro did that actually in Cape Fear,
Yeah.
where he played a guy from the South.
Yeah.
Another powerful actor. I'm trying to think of roles. You know who another guy I loved?
Yeah.
A Brit, Robert Shaw
Oh yeah. 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 He was great
from
in there. The
from
James Bond
Jaws.
film in Russia
From
with Love.
Jaws.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but Robert Shaw was Jaws, Quint
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Jaws. Um,
And he was a gangster, the Irish gangster, wasn't he, in the film? Well, what's it called with the piano player, Robert Redford in it? Doesn't come to mind. Would they do that like
oh
a sort of
yeah,
it's the
yes.
heist, I think?
Um,
Oh, what's it called?
yeah, was it Redford? Yes.
Yeah. Um, Paul
Gosh, I know,
Newman.
I know.
Paul
Yeah,
Newman.
it was a big, yeah, it was.
I can think of the music in my head. The piano music is
Yeah, yeah,
playing in my
yeah.
head.
Another guy, Robert Redford, when he did Jeremiah Johnson.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
Oh,
Outbacks.
just,
Yeah.
just fantastic. Just to get in that element. DiCaprio did that in The Revenant.
Yeah, yeah.
you know, just the physicality of that role. And Tom Hardy was in that,
Yeah.
fantastic, and Tom Hardy was fantastic in that movie. You know,
Yeah.
another Brit actor. I
Yeah.
believe he's a Brit. Yeah,
He is. Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. He's got great accents. The Sting, the film I was trying to think of.
Yeah, The Sting. There you
That's it.
go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
That was Redford and Newman, right?
It
Paul
was. Yeah.
Newman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of
Classic.
the. I think there's only a couple of films they've been in. There was Butch Cassidy, wasn't it? They were famous
Yes,
for.
another good movie, another really enjoyable movie where you could tell as actors they had great
Yeah.
chemistry.
Yeah. Yeah.
They worked off each other really
Mm,
well. There was no steam ceiling.
mm,
Everybody was, they were part of it. They're part of the ensemble. There was
mm.
I love that movie. I love that movie, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yeah,
So
brilliant screenplay. William Goldman, I think
yeah,
he won an Oscar for the screenplay.
yes,
I think. Yeah.
yep, fantastic story. Yeah,
Stephen, I mentioned it looks like time's caught up with us. Just a
yeah,
final question from me. What advice would you be able to give to someone who's got aspirations of becoming an actor or a writer like yourself?
yeah. Um, okay, as a writer, just you have to do it. Write, write, and put work out there.
Mm,
Find people that you know that you trust and can that are in the business
mm,
that'll give you honest critique and take it and listen to it.
mm,
Right? Um, see, find out what you can write, what style you write best in,
mm,
and do that. As an actor, same thing.
mm,
Not everybody can be a comedic actor. Not everybody can play the heavy.
mm,
Not everybody can play the lead, right?
mm,
So figure out what you do best and do it and work on your craft. Listen, right? And you've got to be able to take criticism,
mm.
but you've got to put yourself out there. And I would also recommend, again, I'm no expert on it, but I really feel like theater has really helped me out as an actor,
Mm,
as it prepares you to be on cue.
mm,
If you're with a big cast, it teaches you how to work with an ensemble cast,
mm,
and you got to be on it, man.
mm,
When the lights come up,
mm.
there's no cut.
Yeah,
The audience is sitting there waiting for you.
yeah,
You know, as you do a movie, you can just cut it, or
yeah.
TV, cut until you get it right.
Mm,
You got to be ready to go out there, but just keep creating,
mm,
keep creating, get stuff out there. The world is so different now. Like 25 years ago, 30 years ago, there was no such thing as reels.
mm. True.
You couldn't see me other than me actually being in some sort of production, right?
Mm,
I couldn't send you a 30-second clip
mm,
of me playing a bad guy or a good guy doing
mm.
a comedic role.
Yeah.
Now you can do that stuff. Now you have YouTube.
True.
You gotta just keep creating.
Mm.
And as Liam Gallagher said with Oasis, the right time is always now. I'm a big
Excellent.
Oasis fan. I'm a big Oasis fan. I'm a big Liam Gallagher and Noel and all that stuff. But no, but
Okay.
seriously, like, don't do it.
Mm,
A lot of people think about doing it,
yeah.
and they don't do it for a variety of reasons. You have to do it.
Yeah.
Just make yourself do it. It's like going to the gym
Mm,
every other day.
yeah.
I don't think about doing it. I just do it.
Just do it. That's brilliant
And if you
advice.
can, yeah, I mean, that's really, again, because you can literally create stuff on your phone if you want.
Mm,
And depending on what you want to do, just go out and be seen.
yeah.
Take criticism, and then just keep going. That's
Brilliant.
it.
That's excellent. On that note, I think time has caught up with us, but it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. And let's keep in touch as we have been.
Absolutely.
All right.
Pleasure, Terry. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Stephen. For now,
All right.
cheers, mate.
Cheers. God
Bye.
bless.
Bye.